The story begins in a camp in Siberia where hundreds of Germans are held as prisoners, even though there are no security guards to protect them. But no one dared to escape from here, and even if one did escape, he could not survive more than a few days in the bone-chilling cold. But there was a soldier who wanted to escape by any means and get back to his daughter and wife. His name was Clemens Forell, and one day he got a chance to escape. At night, he sneaked into a coal cart. He was happy to see the sky full of stars. Suddenly, the car stopped and Clemens sneaked out to sea. But then a soldier saw him and caught him and imprisoned him in a cage. Heavy rain started from above. Despite this, Clemens remained there for 3 days without eating or drinking, after which the prison warden told him that your comrades were waiting for you. When Clemens finally arrived in the tunnel, he found a group of angry men waiting for him with weapons in hand. After Clemens escaped, they starved for 3 days. Now suddenly they attack Clemens and beat him badly, after which he is taken to the camp doctor. The doctor was also a prisoner here. He was greatly impressed by Clemens's bravery. Then Clemens asks for the doctor's help and says that he wants to escape once again. Doctor tells Clemens that it is impossible to escape from the Undertakes circle as everyone who tries to escape is killed. And the doctor reassured him that those who don't run away from here will also be killed in the end. In fact, all the prisoners there work in the mines of the metal called lead, and the lead is slowly going into their bodies through the air, because of which they are ready to die tomorrow, if not tomorrow. So the doctor advised him that he should run away and try his luck. The doctor took out all his warm clothes and shoes, and told Clemens that food was hidden all over the railway line. From above, he also gave Clemens a gun. Actually, the doctor had made all these preparations to run away, but a month ago he found out that he had cancer, and even if he ran away, he was not going to survive for more than a month. The doctor gave his lunchbox to Clemens and said that if you manage to escape from here, inform my family about my death. After that, Clemens escaped once again in the night. The next morning, the warden got the news that Clemens had escaped, so he came to ask the doctor. But by then, the doctor had sacrificed his life. While Clemens was marching with great enthusiasm, facing the snow and strong wind, the warden sent several soldiers to search for Clemens. But after several days of searching, they could not find any trace of Clemens. Everyone thought he must have frozen to death, but the warden was convinced that he was alive, so he ordered the search to continue. 9 days into the run, Clemens suddenly saw the sledge running behind him. Clemens immediately started to run, but soon the sledge caught up with him and passed over Clemens. Suddenly, Clemens's eyes opened and he saw that he was fine for a moment. In fact, it was all an illusion of his heart. There was a sheet of white snow around him, and the food was gone. He was heartbroken and asked God for a miracle, but there was nothing but snow in the distance in the optic circle. He had no other solution now, so he kept going for a few days at any rate until finally his body responded and he fainted from hunger. After some time, his eyes opened and he heard a strange sound. Then his eyes fell on a seal. His eyes flashed, and he took out a gun with his trembling hands and fired at the seal. But unfortunately, she didn't hit a single target. Seal started to run away, and Clemens ran after her, and suddenly she fell into the icy water. Finally, he fired another shot without thinking much, and it hit the seal, and now he was able to kill the seal. After eating, he bandaged his feet to relieve the cold. After a short rest, Clemens set out on his journey again, so lonely and so cold that he could easily pass out, so he kept talking to himself. At the same time, after walking for a while, he used to look at his direction with the compass so that he would not get lost. Similarly, after walking for several days, he saw a tree in the snow. Seeing this, Clemens went mad with joy and ran to hug the tree, which actually meant that after 2 months of constant walking, he had finally grown out of the Arctic Circle. On the other hand, the warden of the area still did not give up and ordered a 500-kilometer search, while Clemens had reached the forest. But suddenly a snowstorm started. The storm was so dangerous that even large trees were uprooted and fell. As soon as Clemens got up, a large tree fell on top of him. Fortunately, Clemens's life was saved by 2 men named Semjon and Mattern, who came there looking for gold. And then the 3 of them started moving forward together. Slowly the weather started to improve, so they decided to make a boat out of jaggery and cross the river. The 3 told each other stories of their lives, but soon the flow of the river became too much, due to which Clemens and Mattern were unable to handle the boat. Semjon suddenly lost his balance and fell into the river. Semjon was about to drown when Clemens immediately jumped into the river without caring for his life. After much difficulty, he brought Semjon to the edge, while Mattern left them in the middle and went forward alone. When he reached his hut, he thought that Semjon must have died in the river, so he stole Samjon's gold and many valuables things. But in a short time, Samjon and Clemens also came there, and Samjon was so angry with Mattern's deception that he shot and killed Mattern. After that, Samjon and Clemens packed their things and set out on their journey once again. Then the cold weather started and it became very difficult to move. Then Clemens took Samjon's bag and wanted to lighten his load. But Samjon thinks that Clemens wants to steal his gold. That's why he attacked Clemens. Clemens fell unconscious, and when he opened his eyes, he saw a pack of wolves running towards him. Clemens immediately started to climb the tree. Hungry wolves were pulling him down by his pants. After much effort, the small tree fell down and now Clemens was standing in front of him dead, when suddenly there was a loud sound of gunshots, and in which all the wolves were killed. In fact, a local shepherd helped Clemens by picking him up and treating him, and with their help, Clemens's body soon recovered. And after such a long time, he was very happy to meet people. He befriended several shepherds, but soon a notice sent by the prison warden reached there, according to which anyone who sheltered Clemens would lose his life. So before Clemens was forced to leave, the shepherds gave Clemens a lot of food and a hunting dog as a gift. Now he had a companion on the trip home, so Clemens didn't feel alone, and the two of them continued forward for about a year. One day they came to a lumber mill where Clemens's dog ran off in search of food, but some workers chased him away. The workers recognized him and the owner fed him. After that, they put Clemens on the train to Germany. Now Clemens was going to be home soon, so Clemens had a very happy look on his face, but he didn't know that the owner of the mill had reported it to the police, and the prison warden was waiting for him at the train station with his soldiers. Luckily, Clemens had already seen the soldiers, so he took the opportunity to run away. But in a short time, the warden of the prison caught him. Now all the hopes of Clemens were lost. But suddenly Clemens's hunting dog attacked the warden and badly bit him. Thanks to his dog's loyalty, Clemens had another chance to escape. But when he heard gunshots, he realized that the warden had killed his dog. But Clemens could not even mourn the death of his dog, and continued to run. And seeing an opportunity, Clemens climbed a bridge and jumped onto a moving train, and once again he escaped. Time passed, and he continued on his way. Similarly, a lot of time passed, and the year 1952 arrived. Clemens had neither money nor food, and was wandering around a fair, where he came across a delicious meal. But the shopkeeper scolded him and drove him away. While walking, he came to a stall of cakes, but he had no money, so he went on, ashamed of himself. But a good-hearted girl took pity on him and gave a piece of cake to Clemens. At first Clemens hesitated, but he took the cake and ate it. Then a Jewish man saw everything, and Clemens walked to a church, and he folded his hands and prayed to God. The Jewish man also followed him into the church, but did not turn Clemens over to the police. In fact, he had been a prisoner of war for some time before, so he could understand Clemens's condition. He took Clemens to his house, where Clemens washed up and went back to his old condition. The Jewish man also gave him a passport and some papers, which pleased Clemens, and finally Clemens crossed the Soviet border. And then, after a little questioning, he was let go. Clemens was so happy that he had to deliberately stifle his laughter when he was finally free. But as soon as he reached the middle of the bridge, a light flashed across his face. And then the prison warden appeared in front of him. He looked back and he was still on Soviet soil, which meant the warden could still arrest him. Now Clemens's heart sank as his desire to break free after so many years of hard work was beginning to sink in. But suddenly he saw the warden move out of his way. Clemens couldn't believe his eyes, but he slowly moved on. In fact, it was Clemens's will to live, and the 7-year painful journey to get here that had won the warden's heart. That's why he let Clemens go, but being a soldier, he won. But if he wanted to, he could have arrested Clemens and ended his game. Clemens eventually crossed the border and reached his home, where his wife and daughter were leaving for church. Clemens followed and was recognized by his daughter at church. And then she ran and hugged her father. According to you, the warden did the right or he betrayed his country? Tell us in the comments. See you in the next video.